As artificial intelligence continues to play an increasing role in driving decision making across the federal government, a critical issue facing IT leaders is how best to ensure the security, privacy, and control of the data and the infrastructure essential for managing AI workloads. One company making significant investments in this area is Broadcom. Broadcom is one of the world's leading semiconductor and software companies and recently boosted its software capabilities with its acquisition of VMware. The deal closed in November, and its leaders have been busy integrating VMware into its portfolio while retooling its strategy to become the world's leading infrastructure technology company. And we're fortunate to have with us today two of Broadcom's senior leaders involved in that effort. First is Krish Prasad, Senior Vice President and General Manager of the VMware Cloud Foundation Division, where he oversees Broadcom's portfolio of cloud infrastructure software. And also joining him is Chris Wolf, the Global Head of AI and Advanced Services at Broadcom. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you both for joining us. And let me start the conversation by asking, the topic dominating the tech world right now is all about AI. And Broadcom already is a major player in this sector, but you've recently been promoting the concept of private AI. Can you explain what private AI is and how it differs from other AI approaches?
Yeah, maybe I'll start with a little bit of the history of our AI journey. We started a focus on incorporating AI into our platform maybe 3, 4 years ago, because we could see customers and their applications increasingly relying on AI and ML algorithms. You in the retail space, you have fraud detection. You have the video surveillance that is happening. So people use AI and ML techniques to gather up a lot of data and analyze them almost real time for those use cases. And so we could see that more and more customer applications were going to have some component of AI and ML embedded in it. And so we started working with NVIDIA, who is the leader in AI infrastructure and GPUs. I believe it was around 3 years ago. And we put in engineers from our side and from the NVIDIA side to really work together to see if we can get our application platform to be the best in the industry at running AI workloads. So last year, we made a major announcement. Jensen was the CEO of NVIDIA, was up on stage at VMware Explore, where he talked about the work that we had done together, jointly engineering the AI stack within the VMware platform. And he talked about how the NVIDIA's own benchmarks were showing that the VMware platform gives either equal or better performance than even bare metal running AI workloads. So that we started that journey. I mean, you could see that we saw the big wave of Gen AI, generative AI coming, but that's not really true. But we saw AI starting to happen in a traditional way. And so we started the work, and it just coincidentally, we had everything ready by the time the Gen AI wave struck, and that's where we then were able to put together a solution that we call private AI, which is really about running LLMs on our infrastructure. And I'll have Chris kind of add to what I said about private AI and what it means for our customers.
I would just add that one thing that we realized pretty early on was we were looking to apply AI techniques for use cases that we had, such as code development. And what we started to see quite clearly was we wanted to ensure that our source code stayed in our facilities. We wanted to maintain privacy and control because our intellectual property defines who we are as a business. We saw use cases with other private documents and data, whether it was support documents or legal documents or sales contracts. And the light bulb moment for us was that this wasn't just a Broadcom thing. This was an industry thing. Our customers and partners had the exact same use cases. So we were very energized to really take what we were learning, which was really about bringing the AI models to where your data is and maintaining privacy and control, as opposed to feeling that you have to take your data outside of your own data centers and your protected firewalls just to gain the benefits of AI, because you don't. Private AI allows you to reap the benefits of AI while still maintaining those privacy and compliance needs that you have inside your organization.
Well, Chris, let me ask, so why is the concept of private AI particularly important to government agency leaders?
Yeah, if you think about it in the public sector space, you have just loads and loads of data, and you have lots of compliance and regulatory needs around how that data can be exposed and be controlled. So it can become very difficult to then take that data and then to put it into some type of public domain to gain the benefits of AI. And if you start to think about some of these benefits, right, whether it's things like we have this immigration crisis right now, and you have lots of different dialects around languages, and being able to have intelligence in how I can very quickly translate languages and messages and understand and service people. Right? That's just one of so many use cases that we see within the federal space that's super important. But the bottom line is with these new AI concepts, I can maintain privacy and control. I can often do so at a lower cost to public services. And again, I can't underestimate the control part so much in the federal space, because you have lots of sometimes disparate, sometimes highly customized or proprietary data sources. So it's just not that easy to say, well, I'm going to take this data out of this and bring it to some type of AI model. We have to be able to bring the model and connect to and index against the data and the data sources that you already have, which is something that we're able to do.
Well, Krish, you're running VMware Cloud Foundation division, a key part of Broadcom's software strategy. Can you explain what VCF is and what it can do for agencies trying to modernize their infrastructure right now? And perhaps what are the overall benefits and how does it support private AI at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, VCF, or the VMware Cloud Foundation, you touched on it. You said they want to modernize their infrastructure. So the VCF solution is what our customers use to modernize their data centers. And modernization means two things to customers typically. Usually it's deploying a cloud operating model for their infrastructure, because with the advent of AWS and Azure and Google and all these public clouds, the cloud operating model and the cloud consumption model has become the de facto standard in the industry. People do expect infrastructure to operate like a cloud. And so our VMware Cloud Foundation is the software that customers can take and deploy it in their data centers to really do a software-defined infrastructure that will provide a cloud operating model not only to the operators, but also to the consumers of the cloud, which is their developers. And so it's one solution that has compute virtualization, storage virtualization, network virtualization, all put together, well integrated with management, that you can deploy and automate the entire infrastructure and provide a cloud operating model to your consumption model to your developers. So that's what VCF is all about. And typically what we see customers do is have a balanced approach where they have some of their infrastructure on-prem and some in the cloud, in the public clouds. And the uniqueness of our solution is that we have the exact same software that customers can buy and run on-prem, is also running on AWS, is also running on AWS, and also running on Google, and some of the other public cloud providers. So customers can truly deploy a hybrid environment where they have the same stack on-premise and also running in the public cloud, and get the same consistent operating model across private and public.
Talk to me a little bit more about the on-prem dimension. So how is private AI relevant in terms of different cloud environments, and then in particular when it comes to managing on-prem facilities?
So what, based on what Chris said before, we want customers to run their applications where they need to run it. So we don't want to force customers to move their applications based on where the infrastructure dictates. We want customers to run it, have the right infrastructure where they need to run it. And so that's the basic premise of our hybrid cloud strategy. And so in the case of private AI, a lot of their data is residing on-prem. They want to keep it secure. They want the privacy of the data to be maintained. They want all the compliance rules to be applied and maintained around the data and the applications. And so for customers who want to run it on-premise, we offer VCF, and VCF allows you to run AI workloads, as I talked about before. And so our private AI solution allows you to run LLMs on top of the VCF stack. You can run it on-prem. Now, if a customer says, hey, my data is sitting in the public cloud, we also have VCF running in the public cloud, as I said. And so you can keep the data there and run it right there. You don't need to move the data around. And that's the whole thrust behind our private AI strategy.
And then, Chris, I'm curious, how does VMware's private AI strategy actually enhance the flexibility for public sector customers, particularly in managing both AI and non-AI workloads?
Yeah, this is really key, and it's one of the areas where we can really help agencies to reduce their costs. Because one approach to AI would entail, well, I'm going to stand up an entirely new set of clusters and infrastructure, or use cloud services for AI, and when I start to go down that path, I have to add additional management and operations and security controls and backup, and the list goes on and on. So you wind up having to invest in an entirely separate operational silo just for AI, and that can be fairly wasteful. With our approach, we can say, let's have one platform that can run your AI and non-AI, one set of management tools. So not only are you getting this consolidation of tool sets, right, and reducing costs there, but our virtualization technology also allows you to do things like share your GPUs. They're scarce, they're hard to come by. If I can virtualize a GPU and use a fraction of it for an application, well, now that's more different applications and use cases that can take advantage of that infrastructure. And that's another area where agencies are also able to save costs because they're getting the most out of that infrastructure that they're investing in.
That's interesting. And then to follow up on that, VMware has announced partnerships with various systems integrators and independent software vendors. How do these partnerships contribute to this private AI ecosystem that you're developing?
Yeah, it's really important. I think what we've seen from, and we've heard this feedback consistently in terms of why do federal CIOs want to partner with us? It's because for decades now, we've given them choice, whether that's choice of hardware below our stack, so whether that's a hardware provider or GPU manufacturer, or choice of software above our stack. Agencies have run hundreds to sometimes thousands of different applications across our clusters, and doing so with this common management plane. And that's really compelling value proposition for them. So when you look at our ecosystem, so whether that's NVIDIA or Intel or AMD or Dell or HPE as some examples, and then you start to go up the stack and you look at AI services. So these are companies like IBM and allowing their Watson X service for AI to be able to run inside your data centers or out at your different sites or even battlefield sites, whatever it might be. To open source providers such as Hugging Face, and the list goes on and on. We take a very open approach. And that's what's really important that we think is matters to customers, is that when they're betting on us, they're betting on choice. They make one investment in infrastructure, and that's going to future-proof any investment that needs to happen going forward. So if it's a different team in the agency that needs to use a different AI service, I don't have to stand up a new infrastructure for it. I just add it via software. So you're also getting all of this velocity with us as well.
And then, Krish, back to you. We covered a lot of material here, but can you briefly just summarize the benefits of VMware Cloud Foundation and how it helps customers, particularly government customers, on their private AI journey?
Yeah, you start off with modernizing the infrastructure. And almost all the enterprises and public sector teams are really on a cloud journey, because the cloud has set the standard for their consumers. And so every CIO is looking at how do I bring a cloud operating model. And VCF has all the capabilities they need to really deploy and provide a cloud consumption model to their developers. And they can do it in a hybrid way with on-prem deployments as well as in the public cloud using AWS, AVS, Google, and others. And so, so you get a very consistent operating experience. You get a very consistent consumption experience. And then within that, as Chris said, you can run traditional applications, and you can run applications with the AI algorithms in it, and you can run LLMs. So now you have the same operating model. Your developers don't have to learn different consumption models in terms of deploying and running applications, whether it has AI content or not, whether it's interacting with LLMs or not. It's very consistent, and you're getting a lot of efficiency by doing that. But not only efficiency, you are able to do compliance policies that are consistent, not only on-prem, but also in your public cloud estate where VCF is running. So you set the policy once, it remains consistent across all of it, and then you have different types of workloads where our platform, like I said, with a lot of engineering work with NVIDIA, is the best in the industry to run these LLMs.
Well, it's certainly hard to argue against the logic and economics and efficiency of that kind of model. And particularly as we enter this new phase where we have to move faster, all industry, all government, to be able to keep up with the rest of the world as it adopts AI as well. Well, Krish Prasad and Chris Wolf, I really want to thank you for taking a few minutes to kind of share your views on both private AI and the VMware Cloud Foundation, and how that's really helping the government sector be better set up to succeed. So thank you both for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thanks so much.